Hey, what's up everybody? Jesse here with Southern Reels Fishing, out this week actually doing a bunch of work on my boat here behind me. And I wanted to do a video about this new product. Actually, it's not a new product. It's actually been around for a while, but I've never tried it before. It's a way of basically cleaning the internal cooling passages of your engine much more thoroughly than you would with a typical engine flush or even using something like Salt Away or something like that. This here is an actual cleaner. Now, I have done some stuff in the past similar to this with like vinegar and Dawn, you know, in a big tub and let it circulate for a while. And that does decent, but it just never really got it clean the way I would hope it to be, basically. But this product's here basically promise to do a much better job and are actually designed specifically for that. This one here is called Track Barnacle Buster. It's a solution designed to do exactly what I'm trying to do, clean the scale and deposits and all that stuff out of the inside of the engine before they get bad. Now this here is the actual concentrate version of it, to where you mix it and dilute it 4-to-1. There was another version of this that I ran across called Red Lime that caught my attention. I actually wanted to try that product, but nobody around here carried it locally. And by the time I ordered a couple gallons of it, and with the shipping, it was almost double the cost of this. And it does pretty much the same thing. I don't know if it's better or worse. I'm going to try this because I could get it locally. It says the same, and we'll see what happens. Pretty much the way this works is you will need to get a tub, a bucket or something, and put it under your lower unit. You will need a circulation pump. Like I have a plug-in well pump that hooks to a water hose. It basically just set it in something and it pumps it out. And you'll mix the solution to whatever it recommends. Some of it you buy, it's ready to go. Some of it, like this concentrate, you have to dilute it. You need to go into your engine and pull the thermostats out. That's very important. You also want to pull any of the anodes out, sacrificial anodes, throughout the entire engine, because this stuff will actually dissolve these. That's very important that you take those out. So it's a little more of a process than a typical engine flush. Actually, the best way to do this is to do like I have done, which I'll show you. See, I'm in the middle of doing a water pump replacement. As you see, I have my lower unit sitting over here all cleaned up, ready to go. Just got to throw the water pump back on it. And the idea behind doing it at this point, the reason that I'm doing it like this in conjunction with the water pump replacement, is that you can hook it directly to the water intake pipe right here and inject it directly up into the engine instead of trying to do it through headphones or something like that. Sorry, there we go, that's better. So I'm basically going to clamp a hose right onto this from my pump and go right into the engine with it. At that point, you have to have a bucket to catch everything that comes out of the engine so to recirculate. You'll also have to run a hose from your P-port, whatever side it's on, and run that back down into your bucket to catch that fluid as well. So you basically have like a closed loop system going through that engine. They also suggest clamping off any bypass hoses for the thermostat to make sure that that water gets to every part of the engine. And you want to have a pretty good volume pump, something like 30-40 gallons a minute minimum. That way it's enough to fill these engines up, because some of these bigger engines, they have large cooling passages in them, and a typical pump may not even be enough to actually fill up the cooling passages. So at this point, what I have to do is I'm gonna go ahead and put this engine down flat, pull the hood off of it. All right, so I went ahead and popped the 3 top bolts out of the cover and loosened the 2 throttle body sleeves where the air intake's going to the throttle body, and that whole top assembly will just lift right off. Here's one plug under here you'll have to unplug for the air sensor. And that's it, that whole thing comes right off, like so. We can just set here on the bench. So at this point, the top of the engine is wide open. Never a bad idea to stick a couple rags into these intake ports, just to keep anything from accidentally falling in there. This was the plug that we unplugged from the airbox. So now what we have to do is go in and take these 2 covers off and pull the thermostats out of here. That's what these are, the dual thermostats. So we're gonna do that now. Nice and corroded in there. I'm probably gonna have to get a pick to get it out. So I got them out. I had to get me a little pick and gently work around them and break the corrosion free, just to show you what they look like. There's one here, as you can see, and get the light to act right. And she is pretty corroded, and this thing has probably got maybe 60 hours on it. The other one here, pretty much same way, really corroded already. Probably should replace them, but I'm gonna actually try cleaning these instead with the same chemicals. They said it's really good at doing that. Just to show you what we're battling down in here. Alrighty, if I can get this to look in there and focus, how bad that looks in there. I mean, seriously. Same way on this side. That is crazy. And I flush this thing religiously as soon as I get home, every trip. And I even use salt away and stuff like that, or salt be gone all the time. Anyway, what I got to do now is bolt these back up with the thermostats out. Unfortunately on mine, the thermostat actually acts as the gasket for that connection. So what I've made is two just homemade gaskets that'll fit in here. That'll seal these up. So I'm gonna get both of these installed and move on from there. All right, so I have those installed just like I said, as you see up there. That's ready to go. So now I'm going to take these covers off and these covers off the engine to open everything up. And it's pretty much involves all of these bolts here. You know, there's one under here. There's a few up under here. You basically just work your way around and take all of the bolts loose. Same thing on this lower section here. All these bolts here will come out here and up this back hose here. So I'm going to work on that now and get this engine exposed. All right, if you take a look, we got her all nice and naked now. Looks way different when you take those covers off. So now what we got to do is find all of the anodes, which are easy. There's one right here, one right here, one right there, one there, one there, one there. And down on the lower unit, which is why we took the covers off, there's one here we got to get out. But yeah, we have to make sure we get all of those anodes out. So I'm going to work on that. It's pretty much just 12 millimeter. Pop those loose and we'll see what it looks like. All right, as you see, we got quite a few of them out, and man, they look rough. That is unbelievable that they're that bad. This is right at 100 hours on these. Crazy. Always replace them every oil change. I mean, it's just a no-brainer, but that's what saves your engine is these anodes right here. There was this little block one here. These here last a whole lot longer. You basically just take this off, wire brush the crap out of it, clean it up really good to expose the new zinc, I guess it is, and put it back on. That one actually came from this location right here. The other one was from right here in this middle unit area. And of course the other 6 were up on the head, but just look in there. Try to get one where we can actually see inside of it. If you look in there, you can kind of see. I gotta get a light. Let me get a light. All right, I got us a light now, so we can get a better look in there. She's pretty corroded. Not as bad as the anodes look, which means they're doing their job. But she's definitely got, like this one here, definitely some corrosion in there. Another thing I wanted to show you, if you have a hard time getting these lugs out, if you look inside, there's actually a larger thread inside of a smaller one in there. And that larger thread, they actually have a tool for this. But you can take just any bolt that'll fit into it. I can't remember the thread. It's a metric thread. Just get a long one and you can usually just grab them and wiggle them out. If they don't just wiggle out, just grab it with a set of pliers like that and just kind of wiggle her. Ooh, that one's the worst one. Oh, there we go. And what's left of it should pop right out. All right, so what we got to do now is clean these so we can get these old anodes off. Easiest way to do this is to drop them in some cleaner, like vinegar. We'll take care of it pretty quickly. Or we can try the new stuff that we got. Like I said, you mix it 4 parts to 1 part. So these are 10-ounce cups. That'd be 8 ounces of water, 2, 4, 6, 8. That'd be 4 parts to 1 part of this, which is 2 ounces would make 10. So I got 8 ounces of water in each of these. I'm going to add 2 more ounces of this cleaner into each. Bring it up to 10. Mix it exactly like the instructions say. I don't want to dissolve anything. All right. Supposedly, I have all new O-rings for these, but we're going to check it with these anyway, just to see. Supposedly, it's O-ring, rubber safe, and all. So the easiest way to get these apart is just to drop them in this cleaner and let it dissolve them so we can get it apart. So in they go. See how long it takes. It's already bubbling quite much. Oops. And in this other bucket, I'm gonna drop these thermostats in and see how good of a job. Something going on in town. It does cleaning the thermostats. So you can see it's already working. We'll see what happens. We'll give it an hour maybe. That's enough time for my camera to charge. All right, y'all, I gotta be honest with you. It is the next day at this point. I pretty much got all of the plugs cleaned off, the anodes off of that last night, and got tied up doing other things in the yard and stuff. And today I got back out here and installed the plugs, and I have the pump over here running now with the concentrate. Once again, this stuff here, you know, gets mixed 4 to 1. And just to show you what I got, I have a tote down here running with a pump in it. This is just a plug-in submersible sump pump pretty much, and it is circulating directly into the hookup for the water pump on the engine. It's going all the way up through everything. I got the, you know, all the anode plugs back in and just kind of cinched down tight. And it's basically just circulating through the whole engine right now. And I had to kind of, they suggested use a 5-gallon bucket, but that wasn't working because a lot of the water wasn't making it back into the bucket. So I ended up using this little bit wider tote and elevating it a little off the ground, and that seems to be working good. At this point, it's been running for about hour and a half, and it should go for about 4 hours from what the directions say. So while this is running, I'm just going to do some other things to the boat that I need to do and just let it sit here and do its work. All right, hey, what's up, y'all? It's been a few hours now, actually about 4.5 hours. I've been doing some other stuff to the boat as well, but I wanted to go ahead and check this out. As you see, it's still going strong. Very unique smell, definitely from this chemical, so I'm going to shut it off, pull the plug, see what it looks like, and if it looks good, I've already got the van hooked to it, ready to pull it out. That way I can go ahead and immediately flush it. So I'm going to set this down, stop the pump, and pull the plug and see what it looks like. Alright, y'all, pulled the pump out and let it drain down good, and I popped this one inspection plug out right here. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me try to get this thing to focus in there. But that is clean. It's the cleanest I've ever seen it. So yeah, it definitely did its job. So I'm gonna get it out here and flush it. All right, y'all. So I just hooked the garden hose right to that same hose that was feeding it. And I'm just gonna let it sit here and run for about 10 minutes to make sure it flushes really good. Tell you what, when I first turned it on, all kinds of black stuff come out of that bottom of that motor. It's pretty clear now, but I'm just gonna let it run for a while just to make sure. All right, y'all, I got it all rinsed out. It's been sitting here drying for a while. I'm gonna try to get a look inside of these cylinders a little better. Wish I had a bore scope, honestly, so I could see a little better down in there. Clean it actually is. Yeah, looks good. It's definitely the cleanest I've seen it. If you look up in there, she's definitely clean. Check this one out. You kind of see down in there some. It was always difficult getting it clean down in there. She looks good. It definitely did its job. And this one here. Oh yeah, shoot, it looks brand new back in there, honestly. So yeah, it did a number on it, that's for sure. Just to look at what came out of it here. That is so black. Goodness, it's biodegradable. Supposedly we can just dump it right out. I want to see what's in the bottom of the tub. Gosh, sand, kinds of stuff. Oh man, look at all that grit and sandy nastiness down in there. Yeah, it definitely got it clean. Alright, y'all, so that's it for this video. It worked. It worked really good, actually. All I gotta do now is just, of course, put it back together, put new anodes in it, O-rings for the anodes, and get it all back together. And as far as this portion of it goes, it's a done deal. I have a bunch of other stuff to do to it as well, but for this video, that's it. So it worked. Anyways, it's the cleanest I've ever seen it, and I've tried a lot of other stuff through the years. Anyway, peace out. Y'all have a good one. I'll put a link in the description of the product, and check it out. See y'all.